Crypto, the notion that SEC Chairman Gary Gensler is quitting has swept Twitter. John Deaton, an attorney who is in favor of XRP, has responded on the spec. The XRP community is still enthusiastic about the proposed XL's 30th update, which is part of a longer-running effort to integrate an automated market maker, AM, into the XRP ledger, XRP. Ripple's Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz has shed light on the possible gains that XL's 30th might provide to traders and liquidity providers. Schwartz's remarks were a retort to a lengthy debate started by prominent member of the XRP community Louis Jackson on X, formerly Twitter. Jackson observed that he was unable to offer useful information on profitability despite his efforts to explain the process of the forthcoming exploit. Schwartz brought attention to an intriguing invariant inside the AM that traders may depend on. Nonetheless, he assured us that if the AM's code is error-free, traders may depend on this invariant. You may recall that Schwartz had previously discussed the mechanics of the AM's trading technique. Traders are rewarded with LPL liquidity provider tokens if they contribute two assets such as XRP and USD to a common pool. These tokens stand for the dealer's stake in the common pool. Schwartz claims that the architecture of the native XRP guarantees that the trader will always be able to exchange these ELF tokens for an amount of both assets that, when multiplied, is equal to the value of the assets the trader first submitted to the liquidity pool. Schwartz provided an example to help explain his point. In his Mayup scenario, XSharp would be trading for 50 cents per coin. For example, he said that a trader might purchase ELP tokens for $5 by contributing 10 XRP, 50 cents each, to the liquidity pool. Importantly, when the trader cashes in his LP tokens for XRP and USD, the total amount of XRP and USD and the total amount of XRP and USDs back will never be less than 50. In addition, the underlying algorithm always tries to improve the pool's total worth so that the sum of its assets never decreases. This guarantees that a buyer or seller will always get at least the amount they put in, if not more. There is no question that the XRP Ledger AM has tremendous profit creation potential, but there are also several factors to consider. Jackson observed that a number of variables, including market circumstances, trade volume, asset pairings, and fee structures, make it difficult to predict precise returns from an AM. In addition, Molly Elmore responded to Jackson's observation by expressing sadness about the transience of material things. When the value of assets placed into a liquidity pool experiences fluctuations, this occurrence may have an impact on the providers of that pool. Traders taking part in the XL's 30th DM need to be aware of this risk and evaluate how much they are willing to take in order to make a. Recently, District Judge Jed Rakoff of the Southern District of New York dealt a major blow to the verdict in the XRP case. The court has ruled in favor of the SEC in its complaint against Terraform Labs and its creator, Do Kwon, emphatically denying the difference between public and institutional sales that was asserted in the Ripple dispute. John Reed Stark, who brought the court's ruling in Terraform Labs' case to light via Twitter, deserves credit. After Stark, a former secretary in the agency's enforcement division, asked Judge Rakoff to dismiss the SEC's action against Terraform Labs. Rakoff denied the petition. You may recall that attorneys for Terraform Labs and Do Kwon urged the court to toss out the SEC's complaint. The attorneys contended that the assets at issue are not securities and used the Ripple case to support their position. In response, the SEC argued against the Ripple case judge's rationale and stated its intention to appeal the ruling. Since the SEC has jurisdiction and a credible allegation that Bust, the Anchor Protocol, and Luna may have violated securities laws, Judge Rakoff granted issuer Terraform Labs' move to dismiss the SEC's action. In a strong statement, Judge Rakoff disagreed with the method employed in the Ripple case and specifically criticized Judge Torres' finding. He was critical of the Ripple argument for its focus on public vs. institutional sales. According to him, the Howard test does not take into account a buyer's expectation of profit when purchasing coins, hence all buyers are treated equally. The judge's decision also took aim at the Supreme Court's major questions doctrine, which prevents regulatory bodies from going too far outside their remit. Coinbase and other crypto defendants have utilized this line of defense against the SEC. However, Judge Rakoff ruled that the Bitcoin business does not warrant special protection because of its lack of vast economic and political significance compared to other regulated sectors. Stark emphasized the importance of the ruling by saying that Judge Jed Rakoff is widely considered to be one of the most eminent jurists in the field of securities law in the United States federal courts. The former SEC attorney also praised Rakoff for his reputation as a free thinker. Ripple's et tu, David Schwartz, has voiced his displeasure with the court's judgment, saying that it seems to have relied on specific qualities of Terraform Labs' scheme rather than broad characteristics of cryptocurrency. Schwartz noted that it was not clear that the court's rejection of the Ripple case was based primarily on a disagreement with its rationale. Instead, it depends on the dissimilarities between the two sets of information. He proposed two other readings of the court's ruling. For example, the court found fault with the Ripple ruling for reasons other than its departure from the Howey test. This suggests that the court may not apply or adhere to the Ripple decision. This is the worst possible outcome, according to Schwartz, for those who support Torres's choice. The second way to look at it is that the court's refusal to adopt the argument that it should follow the Ripple judgment in the Terraform Labs case was due to the unique nature of that action, rather than any inconsistency between the Ripple decision and the Howey criteria. In this decision, the court considers that the difference between public and institutional sales may not apply in the Terraform Labs case because of the unique circumstances surrounding the Ripple case. According to Schwartz, this is the most favorable scenario for those who agree with Torres's decision. Attorney John Deaton, a pro-excerpt lawyer, has stated that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) actions against the crypto industry are motivated by a larger goal of safeguarding corporate capitalism rather than prioritizing investor protection. Deaton emphasized what he perceives as an assault against cryptocurrencies, especially in connection to the SEC's activities targeting Coinbase and Ripple. He said in his speech focused on a variety of topics, including accredited investor requirements, the SEC's strategy to regulating cryptocurrencies, and its stance on retail investors in the Ripple case. Deaton states his view on X, Twitter, that the United States functions under a framework of corporate capitalism rather than a real, authentic capitalist society. He emphasizes numerous aspects of the current financial environment to support his point. Deaton said that the SEC's allocation of limited resources to Section 5 prosecutions, as well as its emphasis on targeting the secondary market on exchanges rather than combating fraud inside the crypto ecosystem, reveals a wrong set of priorities. He believes that this strategy has the potential to discourage innovation and limit the development of the burgeoning Bitcoin sector. Furthermore, Deaton emphasizes the SEC's hostility to retail investors serving as a mission curia, friends of the court, in the Ripple case. Deaton's approach implies a reluctance to examine retail investors' perspectives, reinforcing the idea that the regulatory body may favor the interests of bigger financial institutions above those of ordinary investors. Related, blockchain has the potential to save financial institutions $10 billion by 2030, according to Ripple. Deaton raises a significant worry concerning a perceived double standard in crypto legislation. He blames the SEC for failing to engage in discussion with proactive firms such as Coinbase. Simultaneously, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler met many times with Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of the defunct FTX exchange. The differential treatment raises questions about the regulating body's efficacy and impartiality, as well as the overarching structure for digital assets. The SEC's divergent approach to several distinct sector participants might inhibit the establishment of creative startups, while possibly rewarding more established big corporations.